So if you're drop shipping on sites like Depop, Mercari, or anywhere that you want to use review images, even like a Facebook marketplace, right? Where you want to use review images, but typically speaking, you'd have to go through and manually copy them or manually screenshot and save them all to copy them over and then utilize them. What a lot of people don't know is ZDrop not only copies the title, the description, the pictures of the product, and then automatically marks it up for you, but it will also copy review images for you, given that there's good review images and you can obviously choose them. So let me show you an example of how this works. If, for example, we'd want to copy this over to Mercari, well, what we do is we just copy it over to Mercari using ZDrop, right? The issue with that is it's only going to take the actual images from the product listing, right? And so you would need to go back, delete all those, then go to the bottom of this where there's the reviews, find some reviews for it, manually copy them, and then input them in there. And that kind of, it doesn't defeat the purpose, but it definitely slows you down when the entire purpose of utilizing a software like ZDrop is so that you can copy them over automatically very quickly and then move on and copy a bunch of listings fast, right? But ZDrop actually does that if you just know how to use it, right? So instead, what we would do is let's copy this to Depop for an example, right? So what I would do if I wanted to copy this listing with review images to Depop, because on Depop, you need to use review images if you're drop shipping. It doesn't really matter if you're drop shipping directly or if you're doing the dropship arbitrage. So what I would do instead is I would come through, I'd click down to the ratings to see if this has any good review images that I want to use, right? Then I'd go to see all customer images. And then if you give it a minute, you'll see that these little check boxes pop up. So let's hypothetically say that this was a good review image. It's not, but for the example of this, just to not waste your time, let's say that we identified that these are, 3 good review images that we'd want to utilize. What we'd do is we'd simply click these check boxes and then we'd X out, right? And now what we're going to do is we're just going to scroll up and we're going to copy it to Depop. And that's going to bring in the review images with our actual listing on top of the product pictures. And so same thing with Mercari. Again, if we go over, just to kind of show you, if you go into the listing and you refresh it, just because we just copied this over already, we click the ratings down, we go into the customer images, and let's select these 3 that we liked. So let's say that we liked when the check boxes pop up. Let's give it a minute. There we go. Boom, boom, and boom. Then we'd check those boxes. We'd X out. We'd scroll back up to the top. We'd say copy over to Mercari. We'd paste it in there. Give it like 10 seconds to do its job. And as you can see, it copied everything over. So it copied all the pictures from the original listing, just like it would if you only copied the listing pictures. But it also added those 3 review images at the end of it as well, okay? Copy the title, copy the description. We need to input the tags here. It's also already auto-categorized based on the information that we have in here, but obviously this isn't Christmas decor, so we'd change that. But you get the picture. It's marked it up already. It's done its job plus the review images. So now when you're drop shipping, obviously on Mercari or Depop or somewhere like that, you don't want to use the actual listing images because you can only use product images that you've taken yourself. So then in this case, we would just go through and we would delete these images that aren't the review images, and we'd only use the review images. And that's how ZDrop works to copy over products utilizing review images automatically.